We want to say welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia discussions this beautiful Friday evening. Today is the 23rd of May 2025, meaning we've gone 5 months into the new year and yet we are here. My name is Lynn Fagoa on this edition of the program, The Bottom Line Liberia, and along with my co-host or my colleague Francis Mensa, who is in Sweden. And I want to say welcome to Francis. Of course, he's my closest neighbor in terms of location. So, Francis, I want to say welcome to you this weekend evening. Today being the 23rd of May. How are you doing on this weekend?
Well, Linford, thanks for the introduction and having the show again this evening. Uh, Weather-wise, we are going back to what you call fall because it's rainy. It's getting cool. It's snowy of some part in North of Sweden, and so we were all excited that we were going to have at least summer, some sunshine. But hey, this is kind of neighbor for us, so yeah. But otherwise, things are okay. How's your end? How's everything with you?
You just, I almost forgot. You just reminded me. Today is what, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, but from 2 weeks ago all the way. In fact, we had our National Day on May 17th, which was last Saturday. And I mean, everybody
Yeah,
was moving in
Tuesday,
t-shirt. And
yeah.
yeah, if you go back like 20, 25 years ago, that particular day it was out of raining somewhere in Norway, whether in the south or in the north, or let's say in the north will be snowing and somewhere in the south or the west coast will be raining. But this particular day, or even for the past few years now, it's been different. We've been having constant clean, good weather. And this one Saturday it was clean. It was, I mean, like some people were wearing shorts, man. You know, this that traditional clothes they were wearing it, and then come Monday, Sunday it was really, really hot. Monday we even had to go on the beach. If anybody follow my page, you will see I posted the day after Norway we went to make picnic.
Yeah, I saw you grilling your family, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The sun was so extremely hot and everybody. For me, it was surprising though. It made that we would have that kind of sunshine, and then we came to Monday, Tuesday. Then all of a sudden, man, Wednesday it turned dirty, and yesterday it was bad. Early this morning, we woke up with snow because I live in the middle of the country, not south, not west, not north, but in the middle. And we woke up all on the mountain were white with snow again. So it's crazy. Like you said, this is a Scandinavian for us, and that's why Scandinavians, when you see how we dress every day, whether someone or what, we get our little some kind of jacket a tie on your
Yeah,
waist.
jacket or your hoodie somewhere in your bag.
Yeah,
That ain't
somewhere in
gonna
your bed
happen.
because we know. And just before we continue, I remember I used to work at a hotel, and this hotel is just about 30 minutes away from me here, but it's in a mountain, in a open plain. And this place here, the ski center, so snow can come anytime. And these American tourists, they normally come like, we got tourists coming like from all over the world. And these American tourists, they come like 1 week. And that morning I saw the guys, man, in July. It was shining early in the morning. Weather was good. You see the men with that short trousers, they don't wear face cap. So I said, well, I was friendly with someone, and so I asked the guy, where you guys going? They said, we're going to see the PT, the mountain, and the flea is well open. So I said, well, we hope for good weather. I said, yeah, the weather's good. Everything's going to be all right. I said, okay. So the boss came and took them. By 1 o'clock, it started snowing, windy.
Oh wow.
And the boss went for them. So when it came that evening, the other guy saw me said, man, you told us the truth this morning. I said, yeah, I live here. I live and work here, so I know what can happen. But, guys, I want to say welcome. This is a part of our Liberia discussions. Francis Mensa and I are here tonight. We're going to be doing our best to bring you the information. Sorry that I was not on the show last week, and that was technical problem. But we are back, and probably our colleague Paul will be joining us. Jamal cannot make it tonight. So stay with us. We'll be coming back to you, and then we'll be telling you some of what we'll be talking about. But a quick reminder of the show.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
So, guys, you can join us on the show every Tuesday and Friday. The time difference might be a little bit confusing because in the summer we'll have different time, and in the winter we'll have different time. So for now, it's 7 p.m. Liberian time, which is 9 p.m. Central European time for now until we can change the time during the weather. The weather change around October, November. So if you join here for the first time, I want to say welcome. Um, Francis, is there anything on your mind just before we take our musical break and get back and then go into the details of what we'll be doing tonight?
Well, two concerning situations that are occurring right now in my mind or that occurred. I know as always we're talking about uh, the situation in the Gaza and Middle East, and it's some and forgetting about Sudan. There's a crisis going on in Sudan and people hunger. All along the horn of Africa, people are starving. And the world has turned its back on the people. Then Liberia, we have issues like the doctor. I mean, this guy who put there to be a medical doctor for years in Liberia. What is happening to him? You know, so yeah. So these are some of the things that are on my mind. You know.
Okay, that's good. Those are very good concerns. Well, on my mind tonight is the the situation in neighboring Burkina Faso. You know, and also what happened in what reportedly happened in Ivory Coast, our immediate neighbor. And up to now, I have no real information because it's confusing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it's not. It's that was a misinformation. People have the BBC did not carry any information. In fact, there was a report from the statement from the information ministry, and the army chief of staff, the army gave uh, a message, came up. Yeah. So that was somebody who just created a story, and it went haywire. It went like a bushfire,
mhm.
but I
So,
think
so
nothing
in,
happened.
in essence, there wasn't anything, any
No,
attempt
no,
on
no
it.
attempted coup, nothing, nothing of that, or nothing of such.
And what I think we'll be talking about that because tonight we're going to talk about Burkina Faso, and then we'll tie it in with that, and the danger or the advantage of the social media, So it will be time both what happened or what the report, the first report, quote unquote false report. I can't describe it as false, and I can't just because there has been no proper information coming from the African government as well. Because they say internet was shut down, and Africa is right next door. So if anything, people should be feeling the effect in Liberia. People live right there. You can cross the border anytime. So, but we'll be talking about that. And tonight we'll also be talking about North Korea allegedly sending some military support and hardware to Burkina Faso. Everything will be saying is alleged because there is no official information coming from the North Korean side or that we have laid hands on. But what we see on social media, and the reason why it is concerning is because this is an African country, and we have lived that scenario where we fought war. We had military coup, followed by a series of you know skirmishes that led to the war, and how many people were displaced from our country, even until now they are still in exile. So when anything that is happening in any African country, especially in the West African region, I think it's concerning. That's why we normally talk about the situation in Burkina Faso. So we'll be talking about it, and we'll tie in with the information that was coming out from Ivory Coast. So I think those are some of the things on my mind. But we're gonna take quick musical break. And the reason we're taking a musical break is for you to help us to share the show while you get set up, because it could be that you're just joining us and then you want to be a part of the show. Again, everything that we say here, especially on the international scene, we have no tangible proofs, but it's information that reaching us. Remember, we live in the information age. So some could be true and some could be false. So we'll take a break and we'll be back.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the phone. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach in DNA unique, they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people don't want to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they said they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach in DNA unique, they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be?
Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. Your spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land where you grace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, indeed. You are welcome to the Portland Liberia discussions this beautiful Friday evening. Today is the 23rd of May, 2025. If you're celebrating birthday today, welcome. And we say happy birthday to you, your wedding anniversary, or even if you're getting married today, we say congratulations. But if you have any side event today, we'd like to say our sympathy to you. And if you're not well, we pray that you will get well. You know, you gotta go to the hospital before you depend on God to save you. So God is in the background to help those that will facilitate your well-being. So do not only depend on God, you gotta go to the hospital and find means for you to get well. Again, let me say welcome to my colleague Francis Mensah, and welcome to those of you joining us for the first time on the show. I see that some of our regular viewers are on here. Let's say welcome to Winston Cooper. He's all the way there from Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda, studying. And for those of you whose names I do not see, we want to say welcome, Alan Goe, and others whose names we do not see. But wherever you are and whatever you're doing, welcome to the Bottom Liberia discussions. And we're going to take our quick commercial break. That is, we got commercial commitments, so we got to honor it. And after that, we'll be back, and then we'll go straight into our major discussions for tonight.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hemsvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we husband. Hamburger, that number one, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere, Hamburger, that number one,
Okay, welcome again, Francis. Tonight, like we said, we'll be doing some things about Liberia, and then we'll also cross. First, we'll start international. You know, I'm not very good at this international thing. It's Paul that is responsible for that international desk. But I'll try my best tonight. We got one major story from the international side, and that has to do with the situation in Burkina Faso. And we all know what the situation in Burkina Faso is or has been over the past few months, especially in the wake of the confusion between Burkina Faso and, I will call it confusion because and the French government, where the French military base in Burkina Faso, the former French military base, was closed down, and the French government asked by the Burkinabe President Captain Ibrahim Traore to withdraw his troops, which I think, if not completed yet, is going on. And this did not go down well with the French side, being their former colonial master for Burkina Faso. And all kinds of things have been happening, and it is alleged and clearly seen in those instances that that Burkina Faso is also leaning towards the east. And when we talk about the east, we talk about countries, other than the Western world, other than Europe or America. And some of those countries that we've been hearing about is like, Russia and China. And the latest to be in the news is North Korea. And the reason why the mention of North Korea from my belief will raise eyebrow is that North Korea is one of the countries that has been blacklisted by the West, so to speak. And North Korea has literally no real contact with other countries, like the West does. And so North Korea coming into any country or getting friendly with any country will raise eyebrows in the Western world. And we all know some of the reasons why. We may not know all, but the ones that we have been told by the media, the Western media, or the mainstream media, we all know some of those reasons. But recently, it was alleged or on social media, and of course, nobody should ask me why do we use social media as our source, because social media, of course, has been or is now the place where everybody get that information from. So it was alleged that North Korea sent some military support in terms of manpower to Burkina Faso. And the reason is to beef up the security of President Ibrahim Traore, Captain Ibrahim Traore, after a series of coup attempts on his life. And I think he felt that he was threatened by some people. And so he too needed his friends, people who are quote unquote his friends, to also to come to his aid. So we cannot confirm this information, like I said, but it's also from a famous blogger, Eduardo, who gathered the information and then he passed it on onto the social media. And we just play small of it. It's too long. It's about 11, almost 11, 12 minutes. Or we cannot play all. We just play small of it. And let's get the information, because he is saying, or this blogger is showing pictures, not only talking, but showing pictures that North Korea indeed sent military men. I don't know, Francis, have you heard about that?
No, not at all.
Okay, so we'll roll a video just where we can stop, and then we'll discuss what we'll see in the video. So first, let's see if we can share it to the screen so that everybody will be able to see what we're talking about, and probably you, the viewers as well, you'll be able to give your view on what you will see, because we don't want to just be the one talking, but we want people to see. We want you to see and give your view on it as well. Let me see if I can see it here. Okay, I see it. Let me see. And bear with us. It's not our creation, so we are not responsible for the content, but we only play it because we want to discuss the issue.
Several hundred Eduardo, hey God. Anytime I hear news about Burkina Faso, I am always marvel and I am always happy. Yes, I just got an information that North Korea president has sent several hundred commandos, 700 troops to Burkina Faso. They are not there for peacekeeping. They are there to protect Ibrahim Traore. Now, you see, anything when God put hand, they let them spoil. See, everything about that Burkina Faso is what I support. And some people are criticizing me already that you are a Nigerian. Why are you not talking about Nigeria? Me, I know they talk bad things. I always talk about good things. That is why Burkina Faso is another country I belong to. Burkina Faso is an Africa country. So I am a dual citizen in Africa, Nigeria and Burkina Faso. So if they pay you, go hit your head somewhere. Share this video. Make sure you share it. Let people see what God is doing in Burkina Faso.
North Korean commandos have just landed in Burkina Faso, and they're not there for peacekeeping. They are here for Traore. But why would one of the world's most secretive regimes risk everything to protect an African president? And why now? Let's find out. A continent where international military involvement usually comes stamped with NATO or French insignia, the image of North Korean boots hitting African ground was nothing short of surreal. And yet, that's exactly what happened. The government of Burkina Faso has confirmed the arrival of 700 elite North Korean commandos on its territory. Deployed in full gear, these forces didn't come as observers, advisors, or humanitarian staff. They arrived as active military personnel, embedded in a security operation to protect President Ibrahim Traore, reinforce his grip on power, and stabilize the state after a chain of failed coup assassination attempts. The world has grown used to Russian involvement in African affairs, especially since Russia's Wagner-linked troops started replacing French forces in countries like Mali and the Central African Republic. But North Korea? That was new. That was historic. And it wasn't a leak or a secret. North Korea didn't deny it. State-aligned media from both Burkina Faso and Pyongyang confirmed the deployment. According to government officials, the mission is threefold. Protect Traore and key members of the transitional government from internal and external threats. Secure critical infrastructure, including military bases, airports, government buildings, gold refineries, and strategic communication hubs. Train local security forces in the kind of tactics that North Korea has mastered over decades, from guerrilla warfare and close-quarter protection to surveillance, infiltration detection, and coup prevention. And this wasn't improvised. The arrival of the North Korean units was highly coordinated, following weeks of quiet diplomatic and military exchanges. Reports suggest that joint security simulations had already been run, infrastructure was prepared in advance, and key Burkinabe officials were briefed long before the public ever knew. This wasn't a reaction, it was a plan. But what triggered the activation of that plan? Behind closed doors, military insiders in Ouagadougou point to the rapid escalation of threats against Traoré. In the past 6 months alone, Burkina Faso's intelligence services, with Russian assistance, uncovered 2 major coup plots, intercepted encrypted communications between foreign agents and rogue officers, and thwarted an armed attempt to seize a regional command post. The message was clear. Someone powerful wants Traoré gone, and each failure to remove him made the next attempt more aggressive. After the last plot unraveled, Burkina Faso quietly reached out to its newer allies for help. Russia was already present and involved, but the country needed a second layer of protection, one that could operate in the shadows, train elite guard units, and handle situations where traditional diplomacy failed. That's when North Korea stepped in. More videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. Pyongyang reportedly offered not only troops but a full security package. Encrypted communication systems, counter-surveillance tools, and field-tested doctrines designed to protect leaders under siege. While most of the world continues to view North Korea through the lens of missile tests and nuclear standoffs, the regime also possesses one of the most hardened internal security architectures on the planet. And now, parts of that architecture are being installed in Burkina Faso. The commandos are said to be stationed in undisclosed zones near the capital and the north of the country, regions most vulnerable to both insurgent attacks and internal destabilization efforts. They are believed to be working closely with Burkina Faso's presidential guard, integrating their techniques with local knowledge and training high-trust units to handle rapid response, loyalty vetting, and facility lockdowns. The implications are staggering. This marks the first known deployment of North Korean troops on African soil in such a direct combat support role in decades, and it comes at a time when the traditional Western security apparatus is being forcefully ejected from the region. France has already been told to pack up. The US military presence is shrinking. ECOWAS, once considered the guardian of West African order, is no longer trusted by its member states. Into that vacuum walk the Russians, and now the North Koreans. Unlike Western nations that operate with loud press briefings and flashy banners of democracy and development, North Korea came in silent, swift, and unapologetic. And perhaps that's why they were welcomed. There were no NGOs, no lectures, no transition plans, just soldiers, loyalty, and the tools to stop a bullet before it's fired. But this move raises more than eyebrows. It raises deeper questions. Why would a state as isolated as North Korea risk international scrutiny to back a transitional regime in Africa? What does Pyongyang hope to gain from this? And how does this fit into the larger picture of Africa turning its back on the West? When North Korean boots hit the ground in Burkina Faso, the first question was obvious. Why? Why would one of the most secretive, isolated, and heavily sanctioned regimes in the world send 700 of its most elite commandos to protect a military leader in West Africa? It's not for headlines. North Korea doesn't care about Western media cycles. And it's not for peacekeeping, goodwill optics, or charity. The real answer is far more calculated and far more dangerous. This is a move about opportunity, survival, and power projection. Let's start with what North Korea gains tactically. For decades, Pyongyang has been isolated from traditional battlegrounds. Its military strategy is built on theory, simulation, and national drills, not recent international combat experience. But Burkina Faso gives them something rare, a live conflict zone outside Asia, where the battlefield is unpredictable. Insurgents move fast, coups are plotted in silence, and urban warfare merges with jungle terrain. In short, it's the perfect laboratory. By embedding elite forces in Burkina Faso, North Korea now has a testing ground for unconventional warfare tactics. Real-time data on how its surveillance systems and special operations protocols perform under pressure. A field environment to train in asymmetric combat, especially relevant for defending state leaders under siege. But this deployment isn't just about technical training, it's about ideological alignment. Pyongyang sees in Traoré a figure who embodies the exact posture North Korea values: anti-imperialist, militarily self-reliant, and resistant to Western control. Traoré isn't begging the IMF. He's not attending democracy summits in Brussels. He's not handing his country's intelligence to Washington or Paris. He's expelling foreign troops, standing up to ECOWAS, and refusing to be a proxy for Western interests. And that kind of leader is rare in today's global South, which makes him exactly the kind of person North Korea wants to invest in. For Kim Jong-un's regime, supporting Traoré is about sending a message. We stand with those who stand alone. It's an ideological alliance, but it's also strategic.
Yeah, it's a long video. Sorry, I was muted. It was a long video, and we cannot exhaust everything in it now. But first and foremost, let me give this disclaimer on behalf of the Bottom Line Liberia and all of its staff. We are not promoting the interests of North Korea or any other country here, not Burkina Faso either. We do media work, and the work of the media is to disseminate information. Okay, of course, before your dissemination of your information, you should double check it and make sure that it is true. But again, we are quoting sources and we are providing sources, real lifetime sources. So it's not our creation. It's just information that we believe people should get. I mean, there's nothing wrong with telling people that North Korea, if indeed it did send, military personnel to Burkina Faso, if they did send, it's not a crime to say it, though. And if they didn't send and somebody made up the story, it's not our fault because we are quoting a second source. And it's clearly seen on the international media. You saw pictures, you saw them on African soil. So it's a lot of things that I was saying in that video, Francis. Probably just touch on one or two of them. The ones that you pick up, I'll pick up a lot of things. And I think I will give you the opportunity to start. And let's hear what you thought about. And let me lay the groundwork, right? North Korea is one of the most isolated countries in the world in terms of connection with diplomatic connection with other countries. especially the West. And one of the most powerful countries when it comes to warfare, international warfare, conventional warfare, and what would interest such country like that is isolated, that nobody wants to do business with, to come to an African soil over decades for the first time with their physical presence on the ground? That military support, not just say, okay, we'll give you a few AK-47 or we'll give you a few grenades, but we are sending 700 of our elite soldiers on the ground. Why do you think, even though they gave some reasons why, but from your own perspective, why you think so? Yeah, they should be present in Burkina Faso.
No, first of all, Link, for this video is fake. Reuters news agency did a follow up on this video. It says May 16, and they did a fact checking on the video. This, and it's according to Reuters news agency, is not true. It was misleading, and some of the pictures were taken. The images there were from what you call it, London. Yeah, from South Carriage Drive, Hayes Park, South Carriage Drive, and all the all show from the Queen's Elizabeth Gate, the iron cast from Queen Elizabeth. Yeah. So again, I don't think, besides the video being misleading and intended to create a picture of Burkina Faso trying to be a rogue nation, trying to be isolationist, to isolate itself from the other global powers of the world. But it's not going to be a good thing for Mr. Captain Traore himself. To have North Korea coming in, have 700 of its elite soldiers, combat trained soldiers to Burkina Faso. So I don't want to believe it, but even at that, playing the devil's advocate. Look, it's a new terrain. It's unknown territory for North Korea. We know that some of the fighters some of the mercenaries were captured in Ukraine. Ukraine's Western is a more the war against fighting for Russia. They were in combat for Russia, and there's a more I want to say a substantive. It's a more broader terrain in terms of it's more conventional warfare as compared to Africa, where you have a more guerrilla warfare. So, it'd be unfortunate if they're going to go to fight or protect tourists are two different things. But I know now to take up most of the time, that will not occur. That will not be good for Traore himself, and North Korea will suffer a lot of casualty in terms of any eventuality if they send into war.
Yeah, but if you listen to the video again, I probably when you get opportunity, you go online, try to find it and listen to it. The purpose is not for them to go into warfare. Now, the only difference there is that for decades, North Korea, in fact, ever since North Korea had not tested battleground, if you listen to the video, but this was the perfect opportunity for them to test the ground with their men.
But the people in the video is not the videos. I mean, these guys, this one is a matter of fact. They are in fighting for Russia. They're fighting with the Russian forces in Ukraine.
But
They
this
were
time they're not coming to fight, according to the video. They're not coming to
yeah
fight, but
yeah they're going to protect.
they protect.
Hmm.
And
But yeah,
but let's
even
welcome Paul, the international specialist on this show.
yeah, but yeah, Paul, welcome, bro. Look,
Yeah,
before
cool.
Paul comes in, let me just say though, with even if it's the fact that Captain Travel will bring in 700 foreigners to provide security for him, will not offer well for the military. There will be this disenchantment among the forces in the morale, the military that support him so much will be low. And that yeah,
Wait,
it will be
let
a
me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. I don't know from which background you're speaking. Now,
speaking as a paramilitary officer.
okay, well, but let me come in now. Let me tell you something. You gotta look at certain scenario. Travis have been to this place since 2022, right? He have been there, and 18 coup attempts have been happening, and most of those people that allegedly playing those coups are people from the same military that you're talking about. Okay, and besides that, the French troops were on the ground, and Burkina Faso have been having problem with this insurgency for years. The French troops have done nothing. They are only there to protect their French base, and so Traoré is kind of like struggling. Okay, he got to fight the rebels. He got to turn around and look at his own security. 18 coup attempts on one person, that's too much. So this military will be busy fighting on the front, and I think military is supposed to be, fighting the general troops. And Nigerian troops, indeed, if indeed they came for truth, that will even help the military to ease their burden, because the military might out of it's their home. You're right, they should be responsible for protection for their president, for their country. But I think it's just like you carry heavy load. Okay, this load is so heavy. And I come and say, let me help you. When Jesus was carrying a cross, it's alleged that somebody came to help him. So Jesus said, no, if you came across ground with that I able to cross, I'm lazy. No, I think that will help the North Korean troops to pay more attention to what they have to do, while the other people portrays their efforts. Well, I don't know, Paul, welcome, and sorry that you keep in when the video was already off, but you might have heard that North Korea allegedly will not show again. Like Francis said, he have found other Reuters, and you look at the mainstream Western newspaper, news agencies, so they will not want to glorify a North Korea sending group.
Oh, come on, Linfo. Come on, Linfo. What do people got? Come on.
Okay.
What is wrong
Yeah.
with you? Paul, come in, Paul.
Yeah,
Paul.
Good evening, guys.
Yeah.
And I was in a rush, so but I'll follow it and I'll listen to the video. And Linfo, I think Francie is right here, because what happened, I managed to get myself on the Burkina Faso, how they call it, Telegraph page with their defense force.
Mhm.
And maybe next week when we hear, there's no North Korea people have gone to Burkina Faso. What Burkina Faso received lately, armory, they received heavy weapon lately with aircraft, and some of their engineers, pilots have been trained, they have returned home. And I think I'll upload some of the video here. That's what they received lately. So they are visit from Russia. It came with heavy arms, including aircraft, and all to help them fight terrorists in the region. So that's what the North Korean have not gone in. So it was based on content creation for these guys to have followers. So
Okay.
Francie is spot on. Yeah.
Thank you for the information, Paul. Thank you for the information. And like I said from the start of the show, we cannot verify any information. But you see, like if you guys always follow me, something we said a long time ago, people were threatening, war can come to Liberia. I said, look, the moment somebody fire one bullet somewhere, the information will leak and there will be conflicting information. Because why? because of the internet, because of this cell phone. People will blow out things out of context. Now let's start this misinformation in with what happened next to in Ivory Coast recently, 2 days ago. Even as I sit here, I've tried because there's no way that I can get any information from Ivory Coast. You go to that web, you go to any web page in Ivory Coast, you can't get any information. But there were pictures surfacing that even I think some defense staff was shot and later he died at the hospital and all this kind of thing. And people tend to believe it. People present this picture. So to see this thing trending that North Korea sent people to guide Traore, and so of course it's fishy. But again, the information technology will live in is the problem. Things can happen. People can even take poor body and make it me and make it look like me, and people can believe it.
Yeah, no, it's true because social media. What happened in Africa? There was an incident, and that incident that occurred, people turned it into say that was a attempted coup, but it was something they happened in Africa.
No, but if you ask Francis will give you a different
these
story.
days because social media news came out of there, and it was but no, that's what I'm saying. There was incident for days. People are saying, where is the president? Because when smoke come from somewhere, there might be something that brought a lot of smoke. But we know that Ouattara is heavily guarded by the French army and military. So we know that. But something did happen in Abidjan until we get a clarification. Only the people, the local have been. We had a program on Wednesday, and Padole managed to call somebody from a nephew from Africa Coast who said yes, there were incidents in Africa Coast, but then the country was calm. There was situation that happened in the capital, and a lot of movement was taking place. Well, it was never a coup, but something did happen in Africa Coast.
Okay.
So to get out, something did happen in Africa. Yeah. So Francis can chime in.
What is your view on the apparenting?
Yeah, yesterday, I got my daughter in Abidjan. I just chatting with her. She said nothing happened in Abidjan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see. My daughter, there's a chat room. Yeah, I can see my daughter. My daughter Becky, she's in Abidjan. And nothing happened in Abidjan. In fact, the president yesterday held a cabinet meeting. So Africa is such a way that maybe poor, we all maybe something might have happened in a lot of small scale. Where the people balloon it. And social media is like people make money out of this stuff. The more content you make, especially it goes to YouTube, it goes to TikTok, you get money. So people use all the avenues as a means of generating income, and they don't really care about the ramification. What happened out there? I know the stir it will cause within the various communities around the world or even the country. It's like the news that I think for you the parable man, they say fly. I know the thing that happening outside. You can't hear you can't hear in your own house, but the news outside what the more people hear.
Flash them bring the news.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you see, Paul and Francis, is both ways. Now, you are giving the account of Reuters newspaper.
No, but you see, ask my daughter. She said, "Really? We are fine. Don't worry. There's nothing yet."
Okay.
Ask her.
Yeah, but and you see, it's both ways. Now you will see all these pictures coming from allegedly coming from Ivory Coast, where the military gather and people are jubilating, people are moving with motorcycles in the street. And similar picture also came from Burkina Faso, or allegedly came from about Burkina Faso, where 3 drones were supposed to be fighting the terrorists. 2 black drones and 1 white drone. The white drone was supposed to go way up in the sky, and then the 2 black drones will form a V shape over the terrorists in the forest. When they located them, then they were trying to frighten them so that all of them can get together in one concentrated area, and the white drone just look and drop the thing, and they were finished. And people came, they were celebrating the streets of Brooklyn, allegedly celebrating. So you see, it's true that people will inflate content just so they can generate content. And I think it's also on the other side of the Western media as well, the mainstream media. As long as it's not BBC or CNN or NBC or all the kind of thing, people say, oh, no, it's not true. But even if it was false, or if Reuters that you're talking about had just said anything about it, you see, people will say, oh, yes, it's true. Now, we have seen instances where Al Jazeera will carry different news, especially about things happening in the Middle East or in the Arab world. And then BBC will carry similar story in different contexts. You see, so, the writer of the story can frame it, and it's all about editorial policy, right? Okay, I know what I'm talking about. The editorial policy of your institution can determine what goes out to the public. See, not the actual story or not how you. That's why if 3 of us there are journalists, if we go to a press conference from our various institutions, and we all see that same press conference, we witness it. When we go home to our institution to release the story, we'll take it from different angles. The one that interested you. See, so we can't just blame the content creators. The mainstream too can last some time, because when it's not in their interest, and trust me, even if North Korea they send soldiers to protect Traore, BBC will not carry it. That's electoral policy. Do not promote North Korea. Simple. Do not talk anything about them. In fact, look, but if they have said that North Korea were bombing somewhere, oh yeah, BBC then will carry it, because they want to present the ugly story, the ugly side of North Korea. Now,
before you read that, we are saying that we are all saying that right now that the West is against Captain Traore, the way he's.
No, for me, I'm not thinking that way. No,
I just the way he's governing, the way he's pursuing his leadership. Don't you think that would be a perfect opportunity to set that man up to the world that he's so bad, he's dictator. There's a West that happened to Burkina Faso, and having North Koreans troop on.
But the question is. Anyway,
that would be a perfect opportunity for BBC and the Western media.
Who is the West? No, listen, who is the West to say that? No, I'm not supposed to eat a kind of food. I'm not supposed to be a kind of friend. When you are not doing for me, what you need to do for me? Do you think the West really cares about Burkina Faso or about any African country that they really care for you? We all were in Liberia. We were killing ourselves. Until
you are killing yourself. Why you created your own problem? Why you want somebody else to come? You want somebody else to come and solve the problem for you now?
Okay. So what will interest that same person? If I say I want to be my own, then you can't say I'm not doing the right thing. When I'm killing myself, don't come. You say that I'm killing myself. Okay. So it's just Liberia, right? Any country in the West, in the East. Let's say Liberia go to North Korea, example. America will wake up, okay? But we were fighting. They say we kill ourselves until even when Iraq dropped to American embassy before they got concerned. But when other people want to come help out, they say no, don't go.
When the people help you, they put you when Akosomo want to Akosomo to Paul. That won't be for telling you. We went to Akosomo 1 to Akosomo 2. Our man Gange say everything one day he came by say he didn't sound no people. So what do people do? They pay everybody away. They pay the MPF way.
They get conditions. They
student to Ghana, to Yamasoko, everywhere they send you. By the time you leave a place, they'll say, no, you ain't signed anything. You ain't agree.
Yeah, we not agree.
Okay. There was a reason why. Paul, go ahead, Paul. No, Linfo, I guess where you go. But on a serious note, something happening. The South African president and Donald Trump, there was an ambush against him at the White House with this so-called white cleansing that they put out, that there's white genocide happening. You see, the West, you talk about all of these things that because they are killing the Arabs in the Middle East, so they're trying to picture something on the African to make like, yeah, what happening in Gaza is good because they're doing it too in
The African people are
in
Paul,
Africa.
they one time you say, shut up. You took the man to court, to the walk around court, and you killing your own people there. You say you don't have the moral to speak about it. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So, but then what happened now? All the things, because the dossier that he presented in front of this guy, journalists have done a fact check, and everything about it is fake.
Boy, on top of your game, boy, on top of your game.
It is fake. So Trump now, some of the picture he presented, it came from the DOC, the Republic of Congo. And so I'll post something up here. It's a story that we need to talk about. Why these
Paul,
guys?
Meeting. The picture with the white cross.
Yes.
Yeah, the two crosses there. There's a South African guy, a white guy. His wife were killed by armed robbers on the highway. On the highway. So the guy, a family friend, every year he goes there. He put crosses, two crosses there on the ground. So the guy himself, the white guy, the West African guy, came on. It's all on YouTube now. The guy came on. The guy said, "Look, this is false. This picture it's not a graves." And the internet, some people, they multiply.
It's like a memorial that people celebrate. That's it.
Exactly.
You see,
the guy said,
Trump said the thing that he want to make it look like.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Why he want to say that, they can't allow our weapon to be used against the people in Gaza, so it's okay because they're trying to find his way. They wanted South Africa to withdraw the case from Netanyahu, and South Africa not going to do it because they went through the same thing with the white. So now they want pin the whole thing that it's not only the Israeli doing it, South Africa also doing it. That's the whole thing.
Moral equivalence.
Agent that decided to do
that they call moral equivalence.
That decided to do a fast check, just a one minute clip, and let's put this up.
He says that these were all published in the last few days, and that one headline, all the headlines show white farmers being buried. Now, at one point in particular, he held up a headline to the camera here. We can see the headline clearly. It says, "Let's talk about Africa, which is where tribalism takes you," published by a blog called The American Thinker. There's also a thumbnail here of bodies being buried as well. Now, this article that he's holding is still online. It's pretty easily findable. And unlike what he said about this all being in the last few days, this blog post is not. It's dated February 13th earlier this year. As for the image that he said there shows white farmers being buried, this is not even in South Africa. This is actually an image of aid workers burying bodies in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, how do we know that? Well, it's pretty clear, linked here at the bottom in the blog post itself. It says image, YouTube screen grab. Pretty easy to click on the link and it takes us straight there to a report published by Indian media WION using Reuters footage showing women being buried following a mass jailbreak in Goma. So not South Africa, Yinka, but the DRC. And it is a story that is months old as well, unlike what Trump claimed in his meeting.
And Veronica, Trump also was very...
Okay, so now,
that was News 24. That was France News 24. So this News 24 carry it. So they source this guy out that the image he's showing is not
And it's the South African news also went and said, no, those crosses that they land on, those are places that both white and blacks that are killed. They use it for memorial. They go and just say, oh, they see the people, the statue all over the place. It's something like that. But in reality, there are more black farmers have been killed than the white, because the violence in South Africa, we cannot take it away. So that's something he was trying to use and it backfired. What say you, Linford? You want to say something?
Okay, so now you see where I was driving, right? When it comes to the validity of any story, nobody is there to set the standard and say, okay, this is a truth and this one is a false. Trump is showing those pictures. I mean, by all standards of leadership, who is Trump to hold pictures of people who were allegedly killed and being buried? Trump is not information minister. Trump is not the army, the commander in chief of the army, but he's not the defense minister. He's not the person responsible for those things. He's not a health minister to know, So, what is his role as president? Saying that why he can't give it to any of the ministers to do that? But because the weight he carries. So if they say, okay, who showed the picture? President Trump. You see the weight. You see the policy that anybody in the American embassy, in the U.S. government that has responsibility could do that. The chairman, even in the House, the chairman on foreign affairs could do that, or the foreign secretary could do that, because those are foreign events. For what? Why would Trump himself, as president, the man who should be the last man to make a last decision, taking pictures? So he had already validated what he was showing. So just like Joe Barker going to the burning of the site of the
Linford. No, he didn't validate. He validated the picture. You're not going to show DOC. What happened here? Over 50 South Africans went to America for asylum with the initiative of Elon Musk, who encouraged people, West South African, to move to America. So he was trying to use that the killing white South African, so we're bringing them to America.
Yeah,
but the American also have done a fast check on this thing, and they found us here and did a fast.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
So he trying to pitch to the American that will bring the white people because they made
okay, but now this is where I say you are validating. This is why I say you are validating. Now you got my point. You are backing my point now. Okay, it would be any American holding that thing and showing it. People will say, "Oh no, it's not true."
No,
but
he
Trump
was not validating. He was justifying why he brought.
The fact that he was showing, did he do any research? Now he lied. He lied that
exactly. He's trying to justify.
Yeah, but so by him doing that, he's validating. He's trying to say, okay, this is true. The information, you see it, that kind of way of validation. It could be anybody holding that thing. Yeah, it could be anybody holding that thing. He will not carry much weight. But if the president holds it's just like Joe Biden going to the burning of the Capitol building, and he said this was arson. So when you expect the police director to come and say, no, it's not true. So
this is sad for America. But a president who would just run with anything, who would not do due diligence, who would not seek facts before he comes. Look, it's embarrassing. President Trump has made this repeated of mess of himself, fool himself so many times.
This is a guy who will lead insurgency to the seat of government simply because he was inciting people to go. This, and this is a guy who will call another president, the president of Ukraine, and humiliate the man on camera, forcing the man to agree to something. They bullying the man like small boy. As a president, you tell the man, oh, your country is in deep mess. You cannot win.
But the man, the good thing is that a South African president was very calm, and he just told Mr. President, the way you say the picture is not true. You know in your mind yourself that what he's saying is not true. So look, Mr. President Trump, he has to stop because listen, the guy from the EFF,
Yeah, Julius Malema.
Yeah, no, he said it's a good thing that he took the 50 farmers, that got at least there's a 50 vacant farms left.
Vacant farms again for black
He
farmers.
said, if these people, if who in the right mind you have your own farm, if you living well in your country,
then you
leave
will
your farm
be refugee.
and go be refugee in America. So so it doesn't make any sense. So it's look, the issue of Trump, that particular.
If you look at it, friends, here, the people who went over there, they are maybe farmers' children that are not doing well. You see, it's like those are the West African that things are hard on. Decided to take opportunity and say, well, let's move on because there's some blockers been carrying the false narrative, and being that this other guy sitting inside Trump, the South African, he decided, look, let's bring some of our people here. Imagine you deporting people. The people you deporting, they are Venezuela, they are Africans, so you won't bring enough white people to fill that gap. That is what they're doing.
Yeah,
and the racist is to the core. So Trump is now wanting other people to be that they are racist like him. That's what he's doing.
And you know what? There is a hearing coming up in the Senate about how the process was fast tracked. So
very, very fast.
It's a hearing coming up. So he had a meeting with these guys the other day. He told them, they shouldn't. It should be partisan. It shouldn't be political. He should speak up most of the things he wants to do, and that he intends to do. They shouldn't be questioning him, because these are the things that the Democrats are even bringing up. That the process was fast. People are not political refugees. We're not in hot pursuit. There's no evidence that they were fleeing for their lives. So look.
Well, anyway, I think for I say you have anything from the international side.
International side, so it's so juicy, my man. Especially with kind of Trump with story, you won't leave it.
Yeah. There's something very interesting before we even transition to Liberia. Do you know my country and France and Canada decided this time to call the bluff of Israel? Only America is yet to say something because they have now recognized, for some reason, they didn't want to say it, but they realize now that it's complete genocide that is taking place in Gaza. So the MPs, our MPs, all their constituent men putting pressure on them, and they've been pounding the British government. So the British government had nothing to say but now to take some little action, and then France and Canada also follow. So that's because they didn't want to allow food in. So I'll play something here from one of the local MP, and then to our foreign minister response to what has happened in Gaza. While now this guy decided for a few trucks to go in to carry food.
I'm sick and tired of coming back to this chamber, asking the same questions, getting the same answers when war crime after war crime is being committed and when a genocide is taking place. And it's a sick joke to believe that it's right, which it is, to impose sanctions on Russia for its unlawful invasion of Ukraine, yet we're meant to believe that tutting Benjamin Netanyahu and telling everyone that we think this is really bad somehow cuts the mustard. It doesn't. Words aren't enough to stop war crimes. We need more than words. We need more than actions. So can the minister advise this House how many more Gazans need to be killed by Israel, injured by Israel, starved by Israel, until the government does the right thing and brings widespread sanctions in like it's done on Russia, because people think we're scared and people think it's double standards.
Yeah, but
that's one local MP. This is the reality because they keep escaping this thing and they came up with a nonsense called themselves the coalition on the waiting. They want to put sanction on Russia. But when it comes to Israel, they will use the word say Israel have the right to defend itself, but then the people they killing, they are terrorists. So before you two come in, our foreign minister, David Lammy, in parliament, this is what he had to say
We're now
to Israel.
entering a dark new phase in this conflict. Netanyahu's government is planning to drive Gazans from their homes into a corner of the strip to the south and permit them a fraction of the aid that they need. Yesterday, Minister Smodrik even spoke of Israeli forces cleansing Gaza, destroying what's left of residents, Palestinians, being relocated, he said, to third countries. We must call this what it is. It is extremism. It is dangerous. It is repellent. It is monstrous, and I condemn it in the strongest possible terms.
Guys, so what say you? At least the West Europe is speaking out now against the thing they refuse to do, but they know where it's heading. This is the situation. And I would say thanks to France, Canada, and the UK for taking that bold step. They suspended some, how they call it, trade talk with Israel. And the EU also is coming on hard because, you know, Israel is part of Europe. They don't share anything with the Middle East, but the EU is deciding to whether to keep them in Europe. That's something else. So it's as things keep going, and Netanyahu does not change, the big news will come from Europe, and Europe is their biggest trading partner. So, guys, this is the thing. Europe is talking now, and people been asking why. When it comes to Russia, they come to Israel, they mute. This is it.
Look, you can say all we want to say about Macron. Macron have been trumpeting this the Israel thing small. You know, he was that, you know, hitting it small here and there. But his friends did not want to, you know, amplify. They didn't want for him to say. And interestingly, the guy who is the prime minister of Canada, he lives in the UK, and he lives in France as well, and he knows that what the guys are doing is wrong. He brought that pressure to bear on the British people and the French. He brought it to bear because the guy was that way, and he pushed them so hard. And then before he came in, the European Union now, the foreign ministers 2 days ago, they all met. They have agreed unanimously that Israel, because Israel as a country was considered as part. It's not a full member. It's not a full member of the European Union. No, Israel is not a member. They're only allowed. They given some temporary accommodation. You know, trade. They can participate in some sports because the Arab world threw them away. They don't participate in none of the Arab activity, the sports. I mean, the Middle Eastern activities. So the European brought it in to make them feel like a country. They can participate in UEFA. They can participate in our, what you call it, Eurovision.
Eurovision. Yeah.
Everything that has to do with Europe. But the foreign ministers that are going back now to reconsider taking actions, against Israel in that direction. And I want to let you guys know.
Well, when you mention the effort by um, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau from Canada.
The new president, new guy.
No, not Justin Trudeau. He left. The new that job, Mark Carney, the new prime minister.
Oh no, after I was Justin, because he too he have been tried, like you said, he have been tried. But the problem, the reason why the Europeans have not paid attention to him all the time, or the EU, is because the involvement of America, right, with majority of the rich billionaires in the UK, I mean in the US, or probably in the UK too, being Jewish people. So America has been playing the kind of soft side when it comes to Israel. Why do you have other countries, presidents or head of state facing war crimes when you got Israel that is practically wiping out an entire nation, their neighbor, wiping them out? Because the war that the confusion between Israel and Palestine or Gaza, you can't call it a war. The people throw one small rocket, then you bring air bomb, you demolish whole area. That's not nothing equal there. It's just like your son just misbehave, then you grab him, you beat him like you're equal. No. So, but because America is involved, so they are being like, okay, don't take any kind of harsh thing. But it's the son that you said is taking a new trend. Now France can see that they're losing grips all over the place because of their lackadaisical behavior, doing certain things. So people say, well, we just got to do now. They are coming to themselves. We got to do something so people can know that at least we standing on the side of humanity. Now, when it comes to the Ukrainian war, what are they saying? By the time Ukraine throw one bomb into Russia, they make it big. Okay, so Ukraine has captured. But when Russia comes deep into their territory, it's nothing. Okay, so you see, it's all about what they want you to believe, what they want you to know. The new world order is all about control, control, control. Do not let you and anybody be equal. That's why we're having all these problems. And time will come that when everybody begins to, when all the other countries begin to see their right, how they've been trampled upon, and people begin to break away, you see. And when it comes to the Trump issue, I just want to close on this. I watched a lady made some video about America. The reason why you see people like Trump being so desperate about making America great again. Now, listen, if you are the greatest country in the world, you declare yourself the greatest country in the world. You go all around breaking down other countries. Why are you afraid that you want to make yourself great again? You are already great. So look at that MAGA slogan. Why you want to make America great again when you are already great? But America is falling, according to what that video that the lady made. America is falling, and they become desperate. That even Donald Trump will go and pack buses, coaches, waiting for South African so-called refugees to come. How do you define refugees? Refugees are people who have been affected by a great war or calamity, disaster, that are leaving their country. But you got South African farmers. So the other people that are there, nobody dealing with them. Only the 50 people South African government against. Only 50 people. So did they carry all their families? Did they carry everything? I mean, how do you define refugee in this context? So you see, America is falling economically, politically. So they got to do something. And they have been doing this thing all along by imposing themselves on other countries to prove their greatness. But time is coming, and other countries are seeing now that, no, this is can't control us. So they see that they are falling, and they want to make themselves great again. How? You are a great man already, so why you want to make yourself great again? Again? But I think that's a new world order.
Yes, like the world order has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, nobody that the ideology and do how you call it so-called laws and czars. You have America cannot be, you cannot dominate the world I mean, China, why you are there sleeping thing? You are the greatest. China pass you. India is right behind you. Other countries are passing you. What are you talking about? So they are jittery.
Yeah, they are afraid. You see, because the moment Trump said, "Let's make America great again," if you say let's keep America great all the time, fine. But you say make it great again, it means that they are not great anymore. No, and I spend time on some of these things when I read or when I see them on Facebook. I try to analyze, even if it is not true, but they teach some moral lesson. There is another one. It just slipped my mind, but I was thinking about it when we were talking. You know, where you got you go around the world changing forms of government. Okay? You don't want anybody to be like you, and then you turn around and you preach democracy. So what? How do you democratize other countries through what you want them to do? So it's your will, democracy, the thing that you want to happen. Is it what you call democracy?
I mean, that travesty.
But anyway, guys, Paul, if you say that, we can discuss.
Yeah, exactly. No, the thing is, the international thing is we'll continue on Tuesday because there's a lot of stuff happening.
There's a lot of stuff.
You know, the US that we talk about just now, they also decided they came up with I don't know how 100 and something $billion that they want to invest in arm to carry nuclear weapon in space. So now this is the thing that Trump came up with, and the Chinese, the Russians are saying, okay, if you want to open this, it's not good for the world because they're all in orbit. So think about it. So when you say to make America great again, it means that your strength on Earth is not there, so you want to take it to another level. And the thing is, your adversary also they up there. So if you build something, they will build something too. So they're putting the war in a very dangerous territory. That's what they intend to do. And this is how. So yeah, on Tuesday, there are a lot of things that are happening around the world. So we'll talk about it, but we see the way it is going, the way things are going, and we might talk about on Tuesday about the prisoner swap in Ukraine. 1,000 soldiers between them they should swap them, and so we know what's happening. The fighting is still continue until it ends on Putin term. So we'll talk about that, but we can transition to Liberia a little bit, and then we can say goodbye.
Okay, just before transition, let's play our commercial commitment, and then we can transition. So, if you just joining, I would like to say welcome. This is the Bottom Line Liberia discussions. I saw some strange names here. Nyakwe Bowman Gikan was here, or Nyakwe want to say welcome. Whether you stay here or not, we want to say welcome. And for those of you whose names I cannot see on my dashboard now, I want to say stay with us. This is where we are. We are here every Tuesdays and Fridays. 7 o'clock Liberian time, 9 o'clock Central European time, 8 o'clock UK time. So if you have chance, you can still go back. If you miss a video, you can still go back and watch the show after we have left. So we play our commercial, and then after we come, we'll be transitioning to Liberia.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 979, We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hens Vodka or www.hensvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hens North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hens Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hens Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We hustle. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Okay, welcome back. The bottom line Liberia discussions. This beautiful Friday evening. Francis Mensah is in Sweden. Paul the Lord Chipley is in the UK, United Kingdom, that is, and I'm here in Norway. Together, we try to discuss the issues that you may have already heard, but we just want to splice it up in our own. And the diversion of views on issues is what matters on this show. You know, we are not programmed people here where I think that we report things or fancy things that the way I think. No, it's not the way. We all have our different. We could agree or we can't agree sometimes, but we can also take different route. And pretty soon the next topic coming will be taking different route. I'm sure we'll not be in agreement on this one. This one I can bet. But Paul, I don't know whether you've heard it. I'll try to put it up. Whether you've heard about what your government did. When I mean your government, I mean the government of Liberia. They pay 1.4 million United States dollars to facilitate the transportation of an undisclosed amount of weapons to Liberia. And the interesting thing about it, which I see interesting, but let me put it off first, and then we can be looking at it and discussing it. The interesting thing that I see about it, about the whole deal, there are few of them will be talking about, and this is where I will have people disagreeing with me, you know. So let me just put it on while we talk. I don't know. Do you guys see it? Okay, this is the defense official from Liberia, one Foley,
the chief of staff,
General Foley,
the chief of staff, David Foley.
So he made a disclosure. Yeah, Foley. It's African name, we can call it anyway. So he made a disclosure recently at a major press briefing that, you know, the government of Liberia has paid 1.4 million United States dollars to facilitate the transportation of arms donated to the Liberian government or the AFL by the AU, that is the African Union. So there are a few things here I want us to look at. For those of you who are very occurrent with the operation, okay, of the AU or with the what do you call that? The modus operandi of the AU, how they operate, the way that are they the one to be supplying their member states with weapons? Are they selling the weapon? Is it just a gift? Like, okay, or this year we get Liberia certain amount of weapon, next year Guinea, next year, you know, all the other countries. So how does it work?
Look, I can.
Therefore, he asking me or he asking first your question?
No, I just asking all of us.
Look, let me just say this quickly. Look, dude, this whole defense equipment, they were in progress like about 2 years ago. As soon as the government came to being, into administration, because Liberia was part of this peacekeeping force in Mali. These are the the peacekeeping force, what you call it, equipment that they had. and during the time General Follett was part of this mission, and he visited them and had his theme park. It's a whole complete package. It has earth moving equipment. It can be used by the engineering battalion of the armed forces of Liberia. But only focus on the artillery aspect, but it's a whole package. It will even help with the ministry facing feeder roads, put our engineering battalion to work. So those equipment cost around 20 million, and the people only ask you for 1 million and change to transport it, and they give the government ultimatum. Since you guys could not, you got the other countries in line that were waiting, that actually waiting to pay that money to transport those equipment to Liberia. So we shouldn't just be looking at it from the armory aspect, but there are other things in it. They got yellow machine, I said, caterpillars, and they have other things in there as well. It's a whole complete set of machinery that can be used both for security and the social development of our country.
Okay.
So, Linford, I think we should look at this thing that Francis just said on Tuesday. Let's make comparison. If you watch Armed Forces Day, this gone February
11.
I can't remember 11. You feel sorry for Liberian Army.
Did you see the float?
If you see that weaponry, you feel sorry. So if the OU or AU, whatever OU, see logic that Liberia don't have, if they give it to them, I'm happy. Why am I happy? Because we don't have. This is the fact. You see these guys say that they displaying their own weaponry during their armed forces day. It's like, hey God, what happened to our country? So I think we should accept this. Because the nation is we need it
at this time.
We need it because what happened? You could get Guinea vest one day, they just march on you.
And leave. Let me just make it clear, Paul. Look, the people that thing, what you see. I'll say that thing, but those equipment was a package. You could not subtract one thing from there. They had a whole bundle. They say there is here. Look, let me tell you something. Maybe you have not been following the development. They have been training or even the front page Africa that's reporting it now. They themselves are criticizing the Burger government. You can spend 1.7 million on other things. You got free military equipment. That's they're giving to you. It's fairly used. That even it has some cars in it, some military Jeep vehicles for the army, not just weaponry, but it has some vehicles. And
so my question is simple. So do we really need it now?
When will we need it? When? Let me ask you about when will we need it? You need it. Live for this. You need it. Why do you need it? Mm-hmm. The military have agriculture sector, they have engineering sector. And these guys, because of lack of equipment, they sitting in a barrier, wear fine uniform and do nothing. And that's why you find they and the police keep fighting each other. But if you have something to do, you get a lot of small creeks around the country that need to build bridges. You can get the military if they have the equipment to do it. So if you don't have equipment, you just be patrol with gun. So it's a good thing that the country going to get this. That money.
It has ambulances as well.
But man, what are the things here? Money inside? No problem. I have simple question. Okay, the next question I'll ask. You see, because
it's a bundle. It's a bundle thing. What only picking? Only picking the arms part of it.
They may even have some doctors there in ambulances sitting there.
No, they don't have doctors. But what only picking the arm part for it? The arm. We need to build our defense, don't we?
Okay, great. Now, but let's look at the process, the PPCC process, right? Even though we're not buying this equipment, but the transportation part of it, where we're using 1.4 million US dollars to give to a firm in Cameroon to bring it to do the logistics. How do we arrive at this? Don't we have first you tell me, say, okay, leave for come to Sweden. I got furniture for you. Then I know that I can look for, I know I call it what the English name. They think we can help how to carry things. I know English name. They're sending to us. I don't know English. But
you forgot.
Yeah, they hang out, I know I can find a way to do it. But then I'd rather take money that I badly need for myself to eat, then I go to hire somebody from West Sweden or Denmark to transport those furniture you gave me. So you got logistic companies in Liberia. You have different companies that can do that. You jump all Liberia, you go way to Cameroon, you go spend 1.4 million money that you could use in your own country to some companies there that will give employment to people, but you go give it to outsiders. So how do you guys see that? Is it part of the deal too that, okay, if AU gave you the weapon, you that's to bring people from your country to bring it, you got to go away to another country?
Look, so Linford, you got to look at this thing, you got to look at it logically. If you have logistic company in Liberia, do they have the equipment to move heavy duty equipment to Liberia? Do they have it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm making logistics. I'm in logistics, right? I can I'll move your whole house. I will take everything in your home and carry it down the whole house.
Wait. It's not a low skill. They're low skill logistic. Now you have some of the heavy equipment. You may be using ship to move it, or you may need. Listen, because you're talking about military equipment here. You're not talking about
listen. Logistics doesn't work this way. It doesn't. If I say Paul, come move my thing. I'm talking about you, Paul, bring it. You and now you own the equipment. Ship. You know who owns ship? The ship is here on the sea.
You ask a question. Say my point here is the logistic company in Monrovia or in Liberia as a whole. Do they have the facility to move those air moving things to Liberia? Do they have it? Have the government done a due diligence and found out that these people don't have it, so let's move to another country?
But this is the doubt that I have. Whether the government did do due diligence in that respect, because you can't tell me, say, no logistic company in Liberia can transport those things. You cannot tell me that. Now people will look at it and say, oh, the logistic company.
Can you need one logistic company that's able to transport those things? Because if you're talking about military thing, you know what you're talking about. It's not like they shipping from China.
Hey, ask me.
So that's maybe you may jump in the one.
I will not lie. I don't know any logistic companies in Liberia, but a logistic company is a logistic company in Liberia, in Norway, everywhere around the world. This is how we operate as logisticians. Give me the contract. Pay me that one. I can be sitting in one small room in Montreal, my office. Give me the contract. Give me that 1.4 million. I will hire ship. Those are what we call project cargoes. I will hire ship. Go in contract with the ship owner or the shipping, not even the ship owner, because the ship owner that one can say, now he didn't know what's going on. He gave the ship to one ship manufacturing company to run it. Get a taxi. Paul, you buy a taxi, go to me to run it. So you land at home, enjoying drinking your beer while in the traffic running. Well, let somebody slap me, you know. Okay? Or you know more, I'm can report to you. But here's the deal.
And how many ship will you hire out of that one
No,
million?
that one I have business. Just give me the contract. And this is how logistics operate, right? Here's the deal. Give me the contract. I sit in a small room in Monrovia with my company. I got contact all over the world with shipping companies. I said, no, listen, do you have any ship that can carry my project cargo? What are you talking about? I'm talking about military hardwares and trucks and all the kind of thing, weapons and things. Oh yes, that shipping company now will give me offer according to the contract. Say, okay, I got so ship that can carry everything I need. Simple. So I don't have to own a ship. The ship that you see carrying ship.
So before you conclude, where are these things? Which country are these goods stored in that Liberia? They asking Liberia to pay 1 million because there might be somewhere they might.
We heard that they pay to a Cameroonian company. So is a
no, but you can turn to Burkina big company. You can turn to, but what country are these things stationed? That's something because you get most countries in Africa that landlocked. So there might be means of going to seaport. So you got to find out where are these stationed.
It doesn't matter. Let me ask you a question. No landlocked country, you know how things can get there? That is not just that company. That company is doing that. Airplane can carry things.
That's what I asked you the question. Say, if you know what the government have done their due diligence in Liberia, that they cannot find anyone in Liberia, so they decide to go to Cameroon.
It's impossible.
That's a question. I just want to know.
It is totally impossible that with all the logistic companies in Liberia, we got project cargos in Liberia, we got PB things in Liberia that going with ships. So how did they get there? Okay.
So the question is, have they asked them maybe their money is too high, so they decide to go somewhere cheaper? You never know. That's what I'm asking. So you got to weigh
but that does not stop us from also discussing the possibility that our Liberian company could have done that. That's the point. So a level the government to come and say, well, a level will the government to come and say, well, or sorry, we check all around Liberia, and which is important. A lot. No, nobody can tell me that because.
Francis chime in. Maybe Francis have some answer to this.
Look, Linford, logistics depends on the availability and the capacity of the firm to do the work. And look, you have a logistics company, Linford Guerre Logistics Company.
Right.
You do not have the capabilities. You do not have the financial support to move the company
But pay me the money. Pay me the money.
No. Do you know if that money?
The financial ability.
Do you know if that? Let's see how hypothetically that the movement of those goods were pre-financed by logistic companies.
Okay, very good. So you see, and that logistic company does not own ship.
Yeah. I mean, was it pre-financed by that? So we do not know. Okay, but listen to me. It took the finance ministry 2 good years to appropriate that money to have those things shipped. There are being public outcry of that. I understand the point. Say a Liberian company could be hired to do the job. I am positively sure that if Liberian companies have met the criteria to transport those goods and services to Liberia, they will have been granted the opportunity. The only thing we have, your explanation of logistics here is now, look, I do not have a dime. But giving the money, let me go negotiate for you. I can negotiate and move your goods and services from point A to point B. That you telling me now. Now how the logistic company works.
Yeah, but
It does not work at that way.
Look at simple explanation. And let me put it simply.
No, but what you trying to tell? You trying to tell me I
Okay,
should
the
give you
Indian
$1
guys,
billion?
listen, the Indian guys that bring in their goods in Liberia, you see, you know, they get ship. They got airplane.
No, not saying they get ship. No, I don't think they get ship. Nobody say their own ship. But your definition of logistics now is that you do not need to have any financial background. You do not have a financial strength. Or they give my money.
No,
I
that's
send
not
my
what I
money to you.
said.
I say,
No,
Paul.
that's not what I
That
said.
1.5 million there.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's
That's not what I said.
from
I said,
Cameroon or away country to Liberia.
Listen, that's not what I said. I'm right here. If you want me to explain again, I'll explain.
Yeah,
Paul said,
you say you can be in your living room and you can move.
I can sit on the computer right now and run my logistic company. All you need to do, give me the contract. So what you want to see? Anyone your goods to come? Give me the contract. I got contact with it, man. The thing simple, man. There's no way to explain it. The government, the thing what Paul said reason is whether they did due diligence to this thing or whether they get one of outsource it.
I myself in the logistic business.
Yes.
Although
all the things you can say like bro, yes, and you can look for somebody to put inside. When you get your money, just give me the money, I'll do it.
It depends on is the third-party logistics or the direct logistics between the two.
So which one now? Okay, what they want was direct or it was third party? Which one?
It was a direct relationship. A business or direct transaction.
No. You see where it comes. So did they go to one company that Liberia does not have direct transaction with anybody? You gotta go through third party. Logistics is always kind of attached to a third party. It's
not always.
Yeah, okay. Unless you get your own shit.
Most times.
You see the way.
Unless you
see the way the government work in Liberia. They ask the Liberian company to pre-finance. Then when they do all that, then you start running after the government. So
was it the case with this one?
Machine, I don't know the quality. Listen now, I don't know the kind of equipment that you're talking about that will be they bringing to Liberia, and our God friends list some. If you're talking about
as far as I know, they say
machine, how many
military equipment. So
I mean, it's just not. It's just sensational here. Like, the people use the thing. They use it as a peacekeeping mission, and they throw it out as a whole set.
Do that. You want to make
ambulances, tractors, jeeps. All this a whole stuff.
Those are not military equipment. Of those things we don't know.
Are not military equipment.
So if they say
those are farming implements, but it can include in a package. But
I think it was used by a military organization, the African. I think the African Union, the Peace. I think ECOWAS or some group of people.
Let me tell you, the government they had their own reason why they gave this contract to a company. For me, my argument here is
why we politicize every little thing in the country.
There are companies in Liberia that will transport that thing and provide job for people. But you take it and go give it to people in Cameroon, 1.4 million, you know how much we're talking about? So whether they did due diligence or not.
The thing is, the 1.4 million may sound big, but
it's big.
To ship from Cameroon to Liberia by ship, how much does it cost for one ship? I don't know. I'm just playing the devil advocate here. So if you load from Cameroon to Monrovia Freeport, how much does it cost? It will not be $50. It will not be $100. It will be a huge amount. How many ships will be involved? So the 1 million may sound big, but in reality, when that lot of stuff, it may be small. So
Yeah, but
look at it.
no, listen. When I
look
the
at
1 million people, when I
you
small,
see,
that my argument is it should be
yeah.
done by Liberian firm where my brother, your sister, your uncle will be able to work and get some money instead of giving it to other people. Simple. People did not attach condition that when you buy it, when we give you the thing, you gotta look for people from different communities to do it. Even when you're bringing that thing one by one, you bring one AK today, tomorrow you go by, you bring one tractor. Let it be like brand company. But you're taking money and go give it to different people, their own people say they're staffing. Yeah, that's my argument there. And I need a government official to come and
But Linford, is there anything strange to you? The people starving, if your president can buy $1.1 million car, you get problem with it. That to pay something that will benefit the country in terms of growing food and all that, that's what you get problem with. The one you start get problem with is how much the vehicle Rachel.
No, my president buy bulletproof car, I get problem with it. But
so the one Rachel
the president need protection.
In the pocket or the
That's
what I'm saying. So the president need protection, but
yes, no, that's what I'm saying. I get problem with my president riding bulletproof car that costs over $1 million. When he will not always be in a car, he will get there and go home. You know, you will not be in a car. You now go home to say, I'll just be inside the package here. I can move. So what's the need of buying a bulletproof car? You got to get down to go to programs, to go enter halls that ain't get bulletproof. Okay, so hall. So that was just a waste of money. But first will say, oh, the president need protection. Then you get good money in there that is so spent on logistics. You got some logistic companies they're suffering in Liberia. Get that money, improve their life. Then you take it, go to Cameroonian. But stay, you want the economy to improve. You say,
my man, look, you're making the thing just look so. You're making it sound so provocative that you're a Cameroonian. It's a business transaction.
So your people can benefit from the transaction. Your own people can benefit.
But live for this one year, me and ghetto because right in Morovia there at the Freeport or Sierra Leone company called CTN. The Liberian will think that you into like hand that your fee. They call it tracking. That people pay unnecessary money. Why you couldn't say, oh, but how much I can do it?
It's wrong. Because
it's wrong.
It's wrong that they're doing it, but again, people will say, oh man, like no Liberian man can do it. You see it? But equally so there are Liberians in other countries doing something too. So I can't fight against that one. You know, but I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it from the point where the economic growth, you know. Now I'm trying to become an economic man where I think that there are certain things that we should benefit from as Liberians, you know. And even when we talk about that Sierra Leone company, they didn't bring all that stuff from Sierra Leone.
Oh, man.
Because
the way the country
they brought it from Ghana and Sierra Leone.
The country going zigzag, it going zigzag. So when place go, the EPS there, they just bought themselves vehicle that causing trouble. They send it have to summon them because they have crossed the threshold. They spent $78,000 on one vehicle and they spent the other one $65,000, but they're supposed to spend at least $45,000. They above the threshold.
The EPS,
that concerning. They say for official the EPS.
Can you imagine?
Yes, the environmental protection people.
Yeah,
they bought themselves. The Senate now has summoned them to come answer. How come they gone beyond the threshold?
The
EPA. Sorry, EPA. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think from my side, I don't have anything more because we have far gone past our time. Whether you guys got anything else that we can talk about?
No, I would just want to. For me, I would just want to conclude Paul, you got something else? I want to conclude now. And so, yeah, as you said, the time of fast spent, Paul.
No. I think we're better.
You came late, Paul, so we're not responsible. We can still have time for you. No. But anyway, though, I mean, we touched on.
No. That one fine because
we touched on a wide range of issues, but I would like to close on this very issue, about the whole logistic thing. I understand that Liberians or Liberian firms or Liberians need to be empowered so that they can, get some benefits in terms of contracts. But I don't think so that the government of Liberia, they may have not considered that, but I don't think I want to believe that Liberians do not have the capacity for such a huge amount of stuff. They don't have the money. As a matter of fact, I think that thing was prepaid. It was like you give her half of the money and we'll give you half for it to transport that stuff. I think so. We need to read the details. We cannot just follow, because I heard the chief of staff on the radio on OKFM. He appeared twice on it, and then some other people were brought into that. I listened to OKFM religiously, and some other people were brought in to give their opinion on that. And also, we have to go and look at the details. They are there in the details I do not know. So I cannot speak for that. Speak for it. But hey, I know that was a good show, and we will come back on Tuesday and further discuss it. And we can bring. I will make some arrangements so we can bring somebody from the Ministry of Defense on Tuesday, or Ministry of Finance to
that would be highly appreciated, because these are things that would need to be discussing.
I think the deputy minister, I will try to reach out to him.
Okay, and do it as soon as possible so that
Thank you, Francis.
Yeah, Paul.
But on those equipment, I think it'll be a good thing for Liberia, because I feel sorry for my country when it comes to armed forces day. Seeing that with some kind of late pickup with some bazooka behind it, it can look so pitiful. So if the African Union feels sorry for Liberia, I mean, where did money come from? It come from for logistics, yet and get it in Liberia, so we can feel proud small. Because the thing is too embarrassing and too shameful when we see our own armed forces day. So it's something that I look forward to seeing it, because Francis said something, say apart from that, they get all the equipment for breaches, for agriculture.
The engineering battalion and the agricultural battalion in the armed forces of Liberia, they have no excuses. They have no excuses now. They have a reason to work. They will be making the roads that leave, the SKD, the Kesari barracks. They will face that road, and the community roads around probably go along the highway. I mean, I know somewhere and go and do some work. Yeah, keep them busy.
So, Francis, when they have the equipment, I would already propose to the government, because something that we learned and we saw in Russia, when the snow comes heavily, the military is the army they sent out to clear the snow from the street and the sidewalk for people to walk. So Liberia is dirty. Those guys just in a barrel hole, they say they drink nothing, went from uniform. Monrovia is dirty. So if they have the equipment, get it out. Get a place clean.
Well, so can we reduce our army to that? You can reduce our army to what?
I give example of superpower use their military to move ice from them, while a country that they just sit in a barrel.
in the case of
my man, the guy just sit in the barrel and get, I know that $125 every month free, doing nothing. They're wearing uniform. Get these guys to clean the street and get the street. I mean, that's my suggestion. I've seen in other countries, so why our military can't see? And one thing is, when the military are doing things, the place can be clean because people will not even drink water and put plastic because of the army that clean the street. So people try to get afraid. That's what they need to do. Get this guy out instead of beating police officer. Get him to do some work. That's how I see it. But that's my suggestion to the government. Give them the equipment. Let them lead the barrier. We shouldn't see them only on Armed Forces Day or when the president going to travel, then they show up to say welcome or bye-bye. No, let the guys clean the street. Let them do some work. It's our taxpayer money. They can't just be sitting now eating and wear uniform, patrol all day and hold gun. So that will be my suggestion. But having said all that, I think it was I listened to the conversation before I joined. It was a good show. And with the issue with Donald Trump lying about this genocide in South Africa that backfired on him, I think the world now getting to know that Donald Trump is a racist, and this is why he want to bring the white South African and trying to get rid of the other people in America. This is clear-cut daylight racism that he's trying to apply. So he's looking for partners in crime. So he want to label South Africa that South Africa is a country, it's a racist country that trying to get rid of white people too. So this is the thing, but then it backfired. But we look at all that on Tuesday by his grace. The EPA will go in depth into EPA, and then the assets recovery we didn't talk about on the program. They came back, said they got about 27 or 28 names that they're going to get. Wow. So we want to know those 28 names that they already have, or do they want more money? We don't know because they said assets recovery should start from 2018 onwards. So that means it's witch hunting of George Weah government. So it's something we'll look into on Tuesday. So I just want to throw that, so get ready to have a good discussion. Why only 2018? Why it couldn't go back further? Because we know we have some corrupt people in that government for early.
If we go far, people got law. They got law into that effect. That the law they got. I mean, how to change the law.
So, but anything with law, that amendment can be done to any law. So we got to dive into it.
We're waiting for the amendment. Law, what to do.
And I want next week, Francis. Okay, next week, Tuesday, Francis. I want us to talk about this. We get the bottom line. You get spoon network. You get closing argument. You get all of the things. We have the Ministry of Information and we have ELBS, right? They are all government propaganda tools. But why is it now these government ministers that don't want to do Liberia work? They say they call it in the reloading to be fighting hard to defend what they're not doing right. Every night they sit down, what is all be putting ideas together for them to say, tomorrow my ministry will be. They say,
you myself can sit down here and talk to white boy got ready.
You're not in government. You're not in government. So
we should be taking putting company together.
No. If you are minister of finance, in the evening, this is where the brain start working, because you start thinking you carrying the whole country on you. But to sit down, like me and you, like I came from work, I have my food, my belly full, I drink my beer, I can't run my mouth. If I'm minister, I would not be sitting down. Why is it reloading, defending the government? So what the purpose of ELBS? What the purpose of Ministry of Information that's supposed to be sending the government? So we have another ministry in the evening. It's something
I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's not that's not you.
Well.
So yeah, I just want to close.
Can I conclude now?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listened to you both, and you both, you entertain me a lot, the two of you. Now, let me bring back the MAGA, make America great again. Paul, when you were growing up, you had a goal.
Yeah.
When I get beat, I want to do that, I want to do that. And then probably you did it. You did all your plan. You reach that point that, okay, yeah, I did all I wanted to do. I'm okay. Then all of a sudden you start declining. Then when you start declining, then time will come, you say, but ain't that mean you should be so. I want to get back to that stage. That is called making up. So when did the borderline have been here since 2020? We are 5 years now. The class loaded, when did it start? It started when Dylan wanted to be senator. Then they rebranded it when they wanted to.
No, it started it's 2023. Yeah.
Huh? The class reloaded, right?
2023.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Dylan was already senator, but he wanted, because he was serving on somebody's term, so he was running his own campaign. So when he started it was the class. Then during the campaign time, they said reloaded because they wanted to promote the Unity Party. After they won, what happened to the reloaded? All the prominent members of the reloaded, they went to the ministerial posts and all the kind of thing. It used to be few little boys sitting there talking nonsense because they already have power. When they 1.5 years into the governance system, they found out that what they're supposed to be doing is not happening or are not happening. So what they do, they want to make the Unity Party great again. Like Donald Trump want to make America great again. America was way up there, but Senator Key they dropped, so they want to get great again. So the thing is simple.
All right.
The class reloader, you see all the ministers taking all that time to come. They want to promote that same lie that they promoted to the people to elect them. Now, you can lie for a woman to pregnant her, but you can't lie to her to all her life. You see? So now they see the need to come again to reload. I know after they finish reloading the class, what they'll do now? Because the overload it will soon be class overloaded. They are reloaded and they still load, so it'll be class overloaded. So these are a bunch of let's be say ministers or government officials, as I want to call them. They can't call me anything because I'm not in government, I'm a private citizen. Okay. So a bunch of less busy people. I talked to most of them. Even today, I was talking to one of them again. And say, oh, my man, I brought they see armed people, they where they spending 1.4 million. He said, oh, my man, the government not get money. You don't get money spending 1.4 million to get arms into your country. You go ask the same AU to sponsor that money and send it. Okay, but I think it was a good show, like you said, Paul and Francis. And we're looking forward to the Tuesday edition, which is coming out next week. Over the weekend, we're going to put our acts together. We're going to get ready. During the course of the week, everybody's working. So Friday, when we come here, it's kind of like we exhausted. But Tuesday, over the weekend, we're going to rekindle our efforts. And Paul, you the international man, I urge you to do some in-depth analysis of things that will be bringing up. Because you see, the story is coming from the international circles, right? They sound good. Everything sounds good. I mean, look at the video that are going around about articles. Anybody can believe it. Even myself, at a certain point, I made several posts. And I had to go back to take that small post, because they make it to look real. So, but again, as long as it is not all saying the bottom line was there, we are quoting other people, you can't hold responsible. That's what we see. The same way somebody take our bottom line and reshare it to another platform, and they hear what we say, it's not our platform's fault. It's what we say. We can be held responsible. So people should not think that we inflate.
We should make bottom line great again.
Yeah, we made the United Party great again. We can't redo that. So Francis, it was good, and I like your effort. When you're struggling to defend, I like it. That's a part I like about you. When you're struggling, you think it's indefensible, but you're struggling. So that's why we let to push you. But it's good. In any case, we see how the government library is working, and when it comes to, on the serious note, when it comes to the a donation from the AU where they're giving us arms. Well, we appreciate it. I don't know the protocol, but if that's something that the AU can do for member country, then we appreciate it. When it comes to the transportation aspect of it, well, they know the person. We don't know whether they did our due diligence, whether they consulted other logistic companies. But what is important is that the items should get on the ground. They shouldn't say we can get money, so let's stay there. At least they get on the ground, and we hope that the next I call it February 11 that will be coming. We hope we'll see some of those weapons or those hardwares being displayed. And one of my major concerns is Liberia is volatile. This is just my opinion; it's not a fact. Liberia, we came from war. This country, people are not settled. A lot of crimes and things. And we hope that when these weapons come, that they will be well taken care of, they will be well tracked to the point where it will not land in bad hands. Now we say, I think, including me and all of us here, we are still wondering. There was a cache of arms that was consignment of arms that was confiscated at the Free Port of Monrovia. And there were a few Norths arrived. We saw it, they display it. The small arms were very dangerous, no long range. They display it on the same television. We carry a program on it. Today, at least let me say me, I don't know. I don't have any idea about where those arms went. Who carry was it the government or the people that transported it or smuggling? According to them, was smuggled, and nobody got information. So I posted when I heard about this or something from the AU. I posted arms proliferation is very dangerous for a volatile country like Liberia. Anybody can take any of those things and do the unexpected, which we don't pray for, or it's all for our own safety. So, we hope that the government will take good care of those arms and let it land in the right hands and let the country be protected. So on that note, I think we've done a lot. So just before we go, we want to thank I don't know whether you guys got anything for our viewers or anything else I want to see. We can play our commercial and we get out of here.
No, nothing. Just say thank you to the viewer for being with us.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys, and we gotta go now and know.
You see the European viewers. Sorry, for those of you in Liberia, or you see the Europeans, they are very time conscious. We've been here for 2.5 hours. We want to go home now. We want to sleep because it's 11:31 from my end. Can you imagine? And we are still up, but it's all because of you. Thanks for being with us. We'll be here on Tuesday, but do not forget to check your local shops in Monrovia for
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems Vocal, Liberia number one right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hensvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy and my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we hustle. Hems Vodka, that number one, from Liberia all around, in supermarket store and everywhere. Boga that number one, no.
Boy.
If we're pregnant, it's people.
Okay, sexy.
Only records, yeah. Now you bad, I'll lick on, I tell you.